Hello everybody and welcome to the next Spikes video, and today guys we are racing the final round of the ARL Oceania Pro 450 Motocross Championship, and we're going undercover as Iceman. Alright, I've never went undercover in a Pro Max Spikes race. It's my first time doing it, and I just want to see what happens today, alright, because we have some really stiff competition. We're going against Isaac, who is the second fastest Australian player in this game, and we're also going against Rax, who is a two-time ARL 450 Outdoors champion in both NA and EU. He's probably the best outdoors player in the game, many would argue. And I had one goal today, and it was to beat him, okay? And you may think, Troy, that's kind of impossible for you, but SPX keeps giving me the best bike setups in the game week in and week out, and it makes it a lot easier for me, all right? It gives me the opportunity to compete with the best players in the game, and we needed all that help today, boys. But also, this is an Australian series, so it was ran at about 4 a.m. PST, all right? Very late at night. I was tired. I knew Rax was tired as well, because he's also American. The two Americans were basically joining up on the Australian series. We're going to see if we could dominate. And guys, this comes down to the wire. I don't want to spoil it, all right, but I'm going to show you guys a little bit of Moto 1, and then I'm going to show you all of race number 2. I also want to thank you guys for 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. A huge milestone, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get this win, boys. Now we're going to start with just a small recap here of Moto 1, because Moto 2 is going to be the main part of this video. Obviously, that's what's going to decide our overall. My plan on this start was just to hang back. It is a 180 to the left, you know, to try to avoid everyone, and guys just kept funneling up my inside. I had nowhere to really go. Probably could have faded out in hindsight and been fine, but I mean, listen, hindsight's always 20/20. So, bad start, and let me tell you something right now. Luck was not on my side. Really, the next 10-15 minutes of this race. It was very, very treacherous. I was getting cross-jumped. This track's very one-line, so making passes was very difficult. You can see there I do land the front flip. All right, shout out to my suspension, or I guess myself, I don't know. This guy crosses me up, I'm cooked. And then right here, this is, I'm pretty sure, the last lap of the race. I got all the way up to 3rd place, and this guy, I was beating him on cuts, but I did need him to go down just to kind of solidify myself there in the P3, and that is exactly what happens right up here. He runs into a lapper, gets absolutely touched. Was not his fault at all. There's really nowhere he could go. I do feel a bit bad for him, but we do get P3 in the first race. But if you look at timing and scoring, it looks very, very bad, okay? But as you can see from the analysis here, there was just a lot of inconsistencies. It really wasn't until I got around people where I was really having a good race, and even then, there was lappers holding me up. It was just not a good moto at all, but I still got 3rd. I was still pretty close to Isaac. So now you're probably wondering, Troy, how are you supposed to win this, all right? Because not only do you have to beat Rax, but you have to hope that Rax gets beaten by somebody else, you know? He has to get 3rd place. I have to win. Isaac can get P2 again. That's my only chance of winning, and I knew that in my head. But guys, listen, this is the Oceania race, all right? Rax is from the US, just like me. We were racing at like 4 a.m. at this point, all right? I was sleep deprived. I was sure he was tired too, which meant anything could happen. Eroded track. I knew the one was up for grabs. We just got to go take it. Kind of a similar moment here to the first race, but guys, we survive it, all right? That is all that matters. When I survive a first corner, we all just have to be thankful. I do get passed by a lot of guys, all right? It turned into like a, you know, a 6th place start, went to about a 20th place start. But as long as we can survive this first lap, we are going to have a really good chance at the lead. Now, I didn't know where Rax was at. I didn't know where Isaac was at. I didn't have to worry about that right now. I need to get into position, find a way to just survive, and then we can look at timing once we pass the finish line at the end of this first lap. See, this guy's going really slow. I end up having to ride the brakes here so I don't run into him. Suspension wasn't able to work, so we go over the rut, and we don't go down, though. I almost looped it there, by the way. Listen, first lap, there's always something sketchy that happens. With how one line this track was, you didn't really have an option but to follow people. With how slow that guy was going, I probably could have taken another line and gotten around him, but that's the hard part about working up the field on a track that's as one line as this one. So I really had to be patient. That was really what my thoughts were. I also took some time to look at timing and scoring. Isaac was leading, which is actually a good thing because I know late in the first moto, I'd actually caught Isaac a lot. Like gained, I think, like almost 20 seconds on him throughout the race. So I knew later in this moto I could probably catch him, but now I just didn't know where Rax was. He wasn't in the top 4, I knew that. He wasn't close in front of me. So really the only answer was Rax was behind me. He was buried. This is a perfect situation. I'm in 7th place. I know I have good pace in E-Road. I just got to put it all together. We got 30 minutes to do it. Let's get it going, boys. All right, boys, now we have eyes on Rax. He's in P8. Timing says he's 4 seconds back. It's going to update that once he comes across the line. And when it updates, he's 9 seconds back. He went back to 10th. I don't know if he went down. Something happened. Cuts. We're going to figure out as this race goes on, but you can see here I'm on the back of Zerky trying to get into the top 5. We only have a few more guys to pass, and then we're going to have open track up to Isaac. But there was actually a battle going on up front, and that battle was going to continue. Now, I didn't know that at this time. I'm really just trying to work it one guy at a time, keep making passes. Now, seeing that Rax was behind me, I was kind of eerie. You know, I knew he was going to be coming through the pack fast. I had to win the race. That was the bottom line. So all I could think about was moving up. Where Rax is at doesn't necessarily matter at this point. I just got to keep moving up and gaining positions and see if I can get this lead. Another lap has gone by. We are in P5 and we're quickly catching P4. And boys, I was catching Isaac. All right, this was a positive. Really just about a second, maybe 2 seconds a lap. At this point, it was going to kind of fluctuate because this track was going to start changing. And we were maybe going to have to change lines. That was a huge question I had just because this track, as I said earlier, super one line, which meant this main line here, you could see we're kind of struggling to get through it, was getting eroded. That was a corner in particular that I knew I was probably going to have to start fading outside on. But other than that, it looks like the lines really weren't changing. Everyone was just kind of sticking to that main center line that everyone knew was the fastest, but I was still gaining time slowly but surely. Rax was in 9th. He had even lost, it looks like, even more time. He was 15 seconds behind me now, so this was looking like a little bit too perfect. So we got to keep it on 2 wheels, keep gaining time on the lead, and we'll be there in no time. Makes a mistake there. We're going to get into P4. Now we have the gap to lead under 10 seconds. Now, Rax was still in P8, about 14 seconds behind me currently. Now, one of the things I didn't know that I mentioned earlier is he could have cuts. All right, his track position currently could be 6th place. Like, he could be about 5 seconds behind me. He just has a lot of cuts stacked up. So that's something that I didn't know at this time. I was just kind of presuming that he didn't have cuts and he was legitimately that far back. But it was kind of surprising. Like, a few laps in, it just felt like he wasn't really gaining any time. So again, that's something we're gonna have to pay attention to as this race goes on. Is he really that far back, or cuts just getting added to his race time? But couldn't really worry about that right now. We gotta catch P3, gotta keep just getting one guy at a time, right? Lap after lap, making progress, because as this 30-minute plus 2-lap race goes on, we'll eventually catch Isaac. At the pace I'm going right now, I'm just picking off time. You can see I make a little bit of a mistake there jumping into that rut, but dude, we're moving. All right, we're moving. This SPX setup, oh my God, it feels so good. I love it. I hear a bike behind me, all right? And I look at timing and scoring and I realize P5 is supposedly 8 seconds back. And I hear this bike and I hear it getting closer and closer. And that's when a realization starts to set in, all right? I believe Rax, who it says currently is P6, like 11 seconds behind me in timing and scoring, is apparently right behind me on track. I don't know for sure yet because I haven't looked back, right? It was just a guess. But I heard this bike approaching quickly, rev bombing, going really fast. And I'm like, that can only be one person. person, okay? That's a huge wake-up call, though, because there's a lot of racing still to go. We got like 20 minutes left in this moto, and if he's already catching me, I'm gonna have to fend him off for 20 minutes. Not only do I have to catch Isaac, but I also have to fend off the best motocross racer in this game. This is looking a little bit tough, boys. So this guy rev bombs me in the corner. I know it's a KTM. I look back for a quick second and I see it's Rax, and I'm like, okay, I gotta defend in this corner. All right, I do that successfully. I look back here. I don't know what happens there. He like oversteered the corner, something weird. Maybe he ran into the back of me. We are Americans playing on Australian servers, so our pings were very, very high, and that just made racing a lot harder. But he was right there. Now, yes, it's worrisome because if he does get around me, you know, then he could just make back those 10 seconds he has in cuts, and then he'd be officially ahead of me in timing and scoring. But these 10 seconds in cuts are very, very important. All right, like this is everything. I can use these to my advantage, but really I just have to hold them off for a few laps. That's the biggest advantage I have, because also I was getting really close to the lead. There was actually a three-way battle going on right here. You can see there was even a lapper in that group as well getting involved, so things were starting to get very chaotic. I don't know if Rax went down behind me or what. I kind of gapped him up again, so this is really turning into a race, and these next 15 plus minutes we're about to get really interesting. Bit of a close moment there, kind of a setback. I had a roll going, dude. I was really rolling this lap. I was feeling really confident. You can see I'm now P3 in timing and scoring. Isaac's only 3 seconds up the road. People had cuts, right? So that was another thing to kind of factor in how all this was going on and how timing is working. But Isaac makes a mistake. Now it is officially a 4-rider battle for the lead. And with Rax right behind us, it was a 5-rider battle. I wanted to get into P3 here, so I really try to commit on this outside. And a rider from the inside, you can see, nudges me off the track. And guys, listen, I'm not someone that likes to claim I have bad luck, but tell me why there was someone in this race that rage quit and they didn't leave the lobby, so their bike was in the pits at the exact moment that I get pushed off the track. I mean, someone please tell me how the hell that happens, okay? Now, I didn't lose a ton of time, all right? So this race, I'm just gonna tell you now, far from over, okay? There's a lot more that happens, but that moment right there, just that little moment, was huge, because now the gap between me and Rax, even with cuts, was only 3 seconds. It went from me having a 10-second gap on him because of the full cuts to him being now in front of me on track and it being a 3-second gap. Also, obviously my time to the lead had changed, but now things are all shaken up. I'm P5 on track. Rax is in front of me. Isaac's still battling for the lead. That's good because we do need Isaac to beat Rax, but I have to beat all of them. And so now I'm pissed off and I'm going to revitalize myself, come back, get on a charge. We got to get to the lead, boys. Let's get it done. This guy right here is step 1 of the comeback. He was in P3. We'll get around him. Now, technically, again, we're still ahead of Rax because of his cuts. So now we're P3 timing and scoring. But there was a 3-way absolute battle going on up front for the lead. And I knew there were going to be guys that went down. All right, guys that can't hang with the pace. Sundog was honestly the next name I knew was going to fall back. Me, Isaac, and Rax were the 3 fastest guys in this. Okay, we know we're the top 3 guys, just like how it finished in race 1. But obviously, this race was way closer. And dude, I'm telling you, these 10 cuts that Rax had were so huge. I don't got to beat him on track. Isaac doesn't even have to beat him on track. All we have to do is stay within 10 seconds. If I beat Isaac, I get the overall. This is so close. It's such a tight race. All the top 5 guys are all within 10 seconds of the lead. Let's keep it moving, boys. We're working our way up. After getting past Sundog and officially being P3 on track, all I have to do is set my sights on Isaac, okay? I have to beat Isaac on track, and all I have to do is stay within 10 seconds of Rax. If I accomplish those 2 goals, we will win this overall. Now, there was also another thing that needed to happen. It was out of my control, but we also needed Isaac to beat Rax as well, okay? I knew the cuts would help with that. It's just, was he going to be able to hold pace late in the moto? I was running a decent pace, but I think really just all 3 of us at this point were running basically the similar pace. But Rax is the type of dude where he's going to even get faster, all right? The closer he gets to a win, the faster he starts to ride. So I got to just start sending it. I mean, this is it, okay? We got about 10 minutes left in this race. We got to get this dub, boys. It could be my first aerial win. With officially 10 minutes left in this race, timing and scoring has one of the weirdest updates I've ever seen. Now, at this point in the race, things hadn't really changed much, right? Rax and Isaac were both in front of me. Me and Isaac both were still beating Rax on cuts, all right? We were still within 10 seconds of him. But when I look at timing and scoring after the finish line here, I'm 3 seconds from the lead, and Rax was 15 seconds back, 12 seconds behind me, which when you factor in cuts means he's about 2 seconds behind me. So somehow I passed him. He obviously crashed. I'm not sure where. It looked like maybe on that downhill and then maybe fell into the pond or something. I mean, he lost a ton of time. So really odd moment. But I looked at timing and scoring and I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, this is it right now. I pass Isaac, hold that position. Isaac holds his position. I win the overall. So this race is just shaken up. It's gotten crazy. The battle is still on. Let's keep fighting, boys. Little bit of a collision there midair. I mean, listen, dude, I was trying to defend. I was throwing a little bit of a Justin Barsha scrub in his mouth. But we do defend him. He doesn't get around me. As long as I can hold this guy off, all right? The most time I can hold this guy off, the better chance I have at winning this race. Because there's still a lot of racing left, and this track's only going to get rougher. And honestly, that's kind of more into Rax's wheelhouse, all right? Because he tends to somehow get faster. He's just that good at the game. I tried to defend the inside there. It's a line I hadn't taken all day. Just didn't have the muscle memory for it. Completely messed it up. And, well, he's right around me. Now, he understands the gravity of this situation. As you can see, he's literally going as fast as he can. But we're still okay. Again, 10 seconds of cuts. We have 10 seconds to work with, all right? The main thing for me now is to try to follow Rax and see if I can get up to Isaac. That's the guy we really got to get around. What happens after that is what happens. But I got to get around him. We got to win the race. What is going on? This is just, it's crazy. It's absolute craziness. To my surprise, Rax actually hadn't gained that much time, and I was still slowly but surely gaining time on Isaac, who really just had to be my main focus. I couldn't really worry about Rax. You know, if we were going to be within 10 seconds of him at the finish line, not really, you know, up to me, really, okay? It's really up to him, because he's the type of guy that could gap me by 20 in the last 3 laps. I mean, he could probably do that because he was going so fast, but we had to get Isaac. That was it, okay? We lost a little bit of time to him on that last lap. The gap's up to 5 seconds. This track was getting pretty treacherous, though, and we were all going pretty damn fast at this point, so it was really just coming down to who's going to make the next mistake. That's going to decide who wins this. This is coming down to a 3-way battle. Let's go, boys. Gap down to 1 second. I think Isaac started to feel the pressure here because he goes over this hill and he goes down off the track. I narrowly somehow survived there. I thought Ping would have sent me off. And now we are officially leading this race. Lapper, get out of the way. What are you doing? I've never led an aerial race, guys. I was so happy it was happening. I was gonna win. Listen, I'm sorry, guys. I tried. All right. I got in the lead and I was like, I got to go for it. You know, Rax had cut the gap down to 1 second. Okay. He was blowing us out of the water. But listen, bright side is I got second place. Okay. Yeah, I choked it. I choked it. Would I have won if I didn't crash there? Maybe. Did I lose 6 seconds in that crash? Yeah, kinda. But here's our analysis. Okay. We had 2 crashes. One was the bike in the pits. Obviously the one we just had when we took the lead. But other than that, every lap was between a 51 and 49. I was happy with how I rode. It was a good way to end the motocross season because it was a really rough season for me. It was bad. But shout out to SPX. They've been saving me. I wouldn't even be making these races if I didn't run their setup. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry I didn't get the dub. I tried. It's hard to beat the best player in the game though. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.